So today I'm sharing with you my indoor gardening at no cost, and also different things that I start my seeds in. So I did a whole series on this last year of my indoor garden. So here's this year's. Excuse the cat in the background, she's having a mad 5 minutes. So as you can see, mostly I use these plastic containers. These are really good. You don't need holes in them. In fact, you don't want holes in them, because once you've watered them initially, they don't need any more watering if you don't have holes in, because you get condensation on the lids. So these were planted, this tub was planted the beginning of December, and I've taken about 5 different lots out already and potted them up. So these are the very last ones of that same lot. I think I'm good for tomatoes already this year. But you will see these whole shelves that I bought last year with donation, so I could have my indoor greenhouse garden more organised. This side is all tomatoes. And you'll see I also start seeds off in egg cartons. These are the plastic ones. As I say, no cost gardening here. All the compost you see, people have asked on camera what it is. It is actually my own compost, and I don't pay anything for any soil or containers. If you see any flower pots here, then it's what I've been given. The same with any plastic crates and so forth. Now, here you can just sow on this side where the eggs would be, and then like I've done with these plastic containers, you can put the lid over the top of the egg box. But as you can see, I like to actually use that side as well. That's because I have so many seeds I want to get started and don't have many containers. This side here is all peppers at the moment, and I've tried to do the onion growing method, where you just chop the bottom off of onions, leave them in water. They will root, but they won't do the roots as you know them. They'll just grow long roots, and then the top should grow greenage out the top, and then you can plant them. I've got a few of these going. So this side's mostly peppers. And again, as you can see, any old tubs you can start growing in, anything at all. I've got little shot glasses that I use to root the onions, because my onions aren't very wide, so anything else they drop in. So just get any tubs and containers. And as you can see here, some of these cartons I actually use, if they're deep ones, as a top to go over. But don't ever cut the lids off, because you might want to switch on that. Oh, here I've got some aubergines, or some of you call them eggplants. I've got those in soak. They're going to be planted today. If you're aware, you should always soak aubergine or eggplant seeds first overnight. So these are going in pots today in here. So we've got 2 varieties that we're going to grow of those. And there's cats all around my legs at the minute. And yes, again, this is something else I use, old water bottles as cloches. So once these get a bit bigger and they go into pots, they're starting doors, and then they will be covered, and then gradually they will be put out. These are some of the very first tomatoes I was talking about in the first container I showed you that I've potted on. These are actually about the 3rd ones that grew up tall. And again, look, little dessert dish over the top, and these are cut down milk bottles. Again, I haven't actually cut holes in the bottom of these, because then you're going to need lots of drainage trays, and that's something I'm very short of, finding things that are deep enough as drainage trays. And seeing as these are just here temporarily till they get a little bit taller, I don't worry about mould or green sludge or anything like that, and I won't keep watering them. They should stay quite moist on their own accord. Again, look, we've got milk bottle tops here. So many different ways you can use any of these containers, either as bottoms, tops, or sliced in half to make your own little incubator. I do that, but mostly this is my preferred method. These grow really well and very quickly, and they're quite wide, so you can get a lot of seeds growing in them. So these ones are apples. And then we have the bottom here of a toolbox, an old toolbox or hobby box. And then here, I was using this old fridge drawer as a drainage tray because it's got slits in the bottom, but I've run out of room for all these tomatoes that were growing madly. So I've now filled it with my compost and transplanted some of the tomatoes in here. So you'll see it's all my own compost. There's no point making hugel beds or growing beds, saying you're hugel or no dig and eco and all the rest of it, if you're going to go out and buy soil or compost or potting mix. So as you can see on the top of these, just to keep them cosy overnight, these are old sheets from anything plasticky, so old folders, files, anything like that you can grab. I'm short of those because obviously they don't last long once it gets hot here. And then here I've just done some more compost ready. We're running out of space now, so I'm on the floor at the minute. And this is where I'm doing milk bottles, slicing them in half. I filled this one with compost, I have sliced it. Put your compost in the bottom, and then you don't need to tape it. Some people talk about taping them. You don't need to do that if you've got a good container. This is why I use milk bottles rather than the plastic see-through bottles. And then to start with, don't take lids off. So you don't take the lids off because you want to make condensation in there. And as you can see, this is very good fit. No need to take this. That gives you just that little bit of air you need. And also, you can see better how things are growing in there. And then I've got just other containers. Again, I'm not making holes in any of these things I grow in. And then old butter dishes, I've just put compost in these. This is my area about to go. Bottom of cat bags, you can make into nice growy starter areas. And then I like to save any crates I find abandoned, which fruit stalls will often give you free of charge, or supermarkets. And that just keeps all my growing stuff in together. I've got covers here, old shelves from fridges and freezers. These make great insulation. And as you can see here, I have old plastic cups to grow in. And these are good to put the transplants in. These are aubergines or eggplants. So is that one. And then again we have bottoms of cat bags. Over here with more tomatoes. I'm good for tomatoes, but we use a lot of those as I make my own sauces. See links below for my sauces recipes. Again, another toolbox with cups in. These were the very first tomatoes out of that container I showed you. I hadn't reseeded them at all. It's just they keep coming up and up and up. Because as you know, tomatoes don't all grow at the same rate. And then we have two crates here, and because these had holes in these cups from something I was growing outside last year, I've put an old washing up basket and an old supermarket plastic basket underneath for drainage. So that's just a very few of the things I use, but showing you the start of my indoor greenhouse garden, no cost. And now you can see I've turned them round, and Mike's given me some old pallet wood that's not usable for anything else, and balanced it between the two. Give me so much more growing room. without the need to buy any more stands for now. So I'm continuing here. I can grow a lot more. I've got some new plastic from a cake box to add on top, and I forgot to show you in the last little clip the toilet rolls, which is something I've been doing for years. So here's some growing of tomatoes in toilet rolls, and they're doing well. So look out for more updates on my indoor greenhouse, which is in my sun lounge and taking over rapidly. Here's the cat sofa, so they have a nice indoor garden too. Meraki.